You want to know what the worst marriage on the planet is? A husband and wife connected to each other as the source of life. Miserable marriage. You want to know what a great marriage is? You just started on this journey a second ago. It's firing your spouse as the source of life, plugging into the true and only source of life, and spending your days giving each other the overflow. That's a fun marriage. Here's why. You begin serving each other with zero expectations. See, when you're plugged into each other as a source of life, I just said the thing I know you like me to say. I just did the thing I know you like me to do. When am I going to get a little something coming back at me? But when you fire one another as the source, plug into the true and only source of life, and have it as a motto around your home, my source of life is Jesus, not you. Now we get to spend our days serving one another with zero expectations. This has become a hobby for me. I don't know why, but I've got a face that screams retail. I get asked in stores and restaurants all the time, excuse me, do you work here? Anybody else have this problem? It's people with beard and sweater vests. That's what I've found. Beards and sweater vests. I'm so tired of being asked this question, I just go with it. How may I help you? Is my standard response. We were recently at a restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants in Branson, Missouri, called Sugar Leaf. It's a sandwich shop, and we were there as a family, and I got up to use the restroom. And as I'm going to the restroom, I realized there's a senior couple over here, and they're not happy. Like, they're ticked off. And I went, oh, let's see, I got to say. All right, so I walk over, and I simply ask, how was everything? And he said, I got to be honest with you, we're pretty ticked off. I go, ugh. I said, I hate to hear that. I said, what seems to be the problem? Your sign outside said bratwurst. And I stood in line for 20 minutes waiting for bratwurst. I get to the front of the line, you're out of bratwurst. Now, I'm only 45, but I can't wait for the day in my life when the biggest issue of my day is a store out of bratwurst. And there are seniors in here going, he should take this more seriously, is what he should do. If you advertise bratwurst, you need to have bratwurst when people get up to the front. I go, sir, I hate to hear this. What can we do to make this right? I don't want you leaving mad. I said, what if I get you a piece of pie? Where's 56 years married? Can I just see them real quick? Where are they at again? Raise your hand. 56 years. They'll tell you, pie changes lives. They'll tell you that. So I went, I bought him a piece of pie. I bring it back, I set it down on his table. He starts asking me questions about the restaurant. I'm like, hey, whoa. I don't work here. That's my family over there. My entire family all at once waves to this guy. I go to the bathroom, I get back, I'm on fire. Like, I can't explain it, but there is a drug coursing through my veins. I'm fired up. I think this is why Jesus said the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. This is the joy you have. Have you ever known anyone in your church that leaves a church mad because they didn't get what they want? Or they served and they didn't get the accolades or the cheers or the pat on the back, so they left mad? That was someone serving their church with massive expectations. Looking to their church to be the source of life, looking to a pastor to be a source of life, instead of looking to Jesus to be their source of life. There's some pastors in here right now, I can tell it. Man, I told my kids, is this not a ball? This is what all of life should be. Us serving each other, wanting nothing in return. I'm just giving and pouring into you because I know who my source is. I know who unlimited free refills are. I know it. I don't need you to pour back into me. Man, this is where it gets fun. You want to take this up? I'm telling you, next time you go to a restaurant, just stop by the bus table and grab the water pitcher off the bus station. Just start walking around the restaurant, filling up empty waters. At first, the waitstaff's like, what is going on? But after about 2 minutes, they're like, smoke break, and they're out the back door. They'll let you do it. Listen, you want to take this up a notch, wear a red polo to Target. Or a blue polo to Best Buy. It's when it becomes fun. I've told my kids, listen, a lot of parents obsess over behavior. I don't want to be that parent that obsesses over your behavior. I want to be a parent that obsesses over your heart. Because everything you say and do, it flows from your heart. So I want to know what's going on. I want you to see this, because too many of us, right, we see this all the time. We plug into our children as the source. We've fallen for the faulty input-output theory of parenting that says, whatever I pour into my child is what I will get out of my child. And the Hebrew term for that is, ha! Or in the Greek, it's baloney. Just not true. Not true, so we plug it. Listen, I fired my kids as the source of life. My job as a parent is not to connect them to me as the source, but my job as a parent is to point them to the true and only source. I want my children leaving home as adults. I love Genesis 2:24. For this reason, a man, not a child or an adolescent, but a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and the two become one flesh. Let me just ask you, when you're thinking about your heart and your marriage, do you have a marriage worth repeating? Do you have a marriage you want your children to have for themselves one day? Do you want them to see a mom and dad who have fired one another as a source, pointed to the true and only source, and now they're pouring into one another choice overflow? You know why? Because our kids, they see everything we do, they hear everything we say, they forget nothing, and then they repeat. My son and I, our favorite YouTube clip is the German Coast Guards. He was 5 or 6 when I first showed it to him, and he fell over in laughter. But a guy's being trained on the German Coast Guard, and a mayday comes in. Mayday, mayday, we are sinking, we are sinking. Hello? This is the German Coast Guard. Mayday, mayday, we are sinking, we are sinking. What are you sinking about? My son thinks this is the funniest clip he's ever seen, falls over in laughter. And a few weeks later, we're driving down the road, and I start singing a hymn from my childhood that goes like this. I was sinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore. And from the back seat, I heard, and what were you sinking about? Do you understand? Your kids have a front row seat to your marriage. Grandma and grandpa, your grandchildren and your children, they have a front row seat to your marriage. Are you painting a beautiful picture of marriage, one you want for them one day? They're watching, they're listening, they're remembering, and they're repeating.